As all of you know, Game Informer has chosen Days Gone as their month of coverage for this month. We've gotten essentially 2 new hours of gameplay, with the first hour, 40 minutes of regular gameplay, following a 20-minute horror battle as well. And the game seems to be impressing a lot of people, including myself. While I have some issues with the game, one stands out that I feel is just the beginning, and will likely see this problem be seen for more games to come. What's going on, guys? TKD123 here, and this is how I feel about Days Gone at the moment. Now, just to be clear, this is an opinion based off of just looking at the game and not playing it yet. It's also been made clear that the game in Game Informer coverage is an alpha build of the game, not even in beta form yet. And so therefore, any bugs or rough spots in the game are to be expected. It's a work in progress. And overall, I think the game looks really fun that can put players in interesting tense spots on a moment-to-moment basis in the game. I like the system of having to juggle resources to craft different items on the fly, fixing or finding your bike when it gets destroyed or lost. Playing the game even looks like it feels pretty good to control as well, just based off the gunplay. And those moments in the game where the camera goes slow motion dubbed survival vision also look really useful as well, allowing you to slow down time and take shots at red barrels to assist you in taking down freakers or just go for headshots. The main protagonist Deacon seems to be really well written and definitely makes me want to know more about him and the story as a whole. Just by the looks of gameplay we've gotten narratively, it looks like Ben Studios isn't holding back anything in terms of detail. Freakers do certain things like build burrows that we'll find out later in the game, as well as Deacon's feelings of guilt in terms of a female dying and him making a choice to get on a chopper or not. It's really juicy stuff that makes me want to play and learn these things. Freakers even vary on type of freaker depending on the age they were initially turned. It's pretty awesome. It's clear that Ben has thrown its line with the Game Informer, and a lot of gamers, including myself, are taking the bait. I also gathered through the gameplay that no place is safe throughout your journey. Freakers make the open wilderness just as dangerous and nerve-wracking as a dark corner in a tunnel. It looks like we'll be tense and on the edge of our seats no matter where we venture in Days Gone, which is a nice change of pace as well. We'll also be able to tackle any major horde or objective in a number of different ways, thanks to the multiple weapons, craftable items, and different techniques the game lets you take. It seems like the most compelling part of the game is that it gives the player agency to take the path they want to take, use the weapons they want to use, etc. However, it's what the player can't control is where I see the game's biggest flaws. What's unfortunate about this whole thing is that my biggest complaint with Days Gone stems from my current favorite game of the year, God of War 2018. The game is amazing, you all know my stance very well on said game, and keep looking out for that review, guys. I still got it cooking in the oven, it's still marinating, you know what I'm saying? I will get it out as soon as I can. But one aspect of the game that sets it apart is that camera that doesn't cut away from gameplay to cutscene. Games in the past have made transitions from cutscene to gameplay pretty seamlessly, but with God of War not cutting away from any given scene at all made it the true cream of the crop. Days Gone doesn't do any of these things. Cutscenes are pretty unpleasant to see happen, unfortunately. Cutscenes are sandwiched between 2 to 4 seconds of black screens. The game awkwardly pauses as well in most cases and really makes it worse when you view it in its entirety. While of course taking into account that this isn't the only open world game coming out within the past 2 years that doesn't suffer from this same issue as well. I recently played and beat Far Cry 5, an open world game I highly recommend with its Ubisoft-esque checkbox mentality of an open world game. It has a pretty out there story, but cool story at that, and fun gameplay overall. However, Far Cry 5 also had its cutscene issues in the same vein as Days Gone, worse at that. When going from gameplay to cutscenes, you were greeted with a loading screen many times longer than Days Gone's loading pauses. While I found it a bit of a buzzkill when the action of Far Cry 5 would be interrupted by a loading screen, I don't remember it bothering me as much as it does in Days Gone, and I think it's clear why. God of War is to blame. We've truly been spoiled, folks. Now let's state the obvious here. God of War has a bunch of travel points where you can go to different realms, and within those realms are a little bit of a kind of mini open world map, okay? They're not all connected in the same vein as Far Cry 5 and Days Gone. So to say that they're a similar game and that they should be acting the same way in terms of gameplay and cutscenes and load times, everything is a bit misleading and unfair to compare. But I think moving forward, every game for a while that doesn't feature that non-cut cut and seamless camera like the one in God of War will likely stick out as an eyesore to me at least. Let me know if you feel the same, because that's something I'm definitely feeling like we'll be saying for a while now. It would also be crazy of me to not bring up the type of game Days Gone is. It's a massive open world with tons of moving NPCs in the form of freakers and endless stockpiles of loot and resources littered across the game. It's not an easy game to load and unload at a given time, I'm assuming. This was to be expected on paper, but with God of War doing the seemingly impossible is truly ruining how games handle cutscenes in the future. One other gripe about the game comes in the form of its performance. At the E3 2016 showing, it was clear to me that this game had a lot of work to be done in terms of polish. The character models, animations seem very lackluster and off-putting, as well as the frame drops during the demo. While the game seemed to look better at E3 2017, the gameplay we've gotten today puts it somewhere in the middle. This is mainly shown in the Game Informer Horde video where they take on a horde of 300 freakers. The game dips in frames significantly, and editors even edited out a clip where it was so bad they didn't want to include it in the video.
Rainer, you said whoa on that cut. Sony did trim this a little bit here and there, so that was a weird cut. I forget what they were trying to hide, but probably something that was a little buggy.
There's even a section in the first hour where Deacon melees a freaker, and he's clearly phasing in and out of the freaker's character model. Now I feel this is where I state the obvious. This is a game that's putting hundreds of freakers at some point in front of you to face. Of course this game will dip in frames. The PS4 and the PS4 Pro only have so much power, and a comment from my last video pointed out to me. Even though I stated that Bend could somehow down the road put a performance mode in Days Gone, allowing the game to favor performance and frames over resolution, it's highly unlikely they'll even be able to achieve this. These aren't the most high-end and powerful PCs we're running Days Gone on. They can only handle so much. Even if we see a performance mode in Days Gone, the feats Bend must have taken to hypothetically achieve that would be a damn near miracle. It was crazy of me to think that getting the game to run at 60 is somewhat possible, given the fact that it struggles to even get a steady frame rate at its current state. So shout out to LOL Topcac, thank you for keeping me in my place. Now going back to the bugs that we saw in the gameplay from Game Informer, of course it is completely unnecessary and really wrong to expect a open world game to be completely polished and bug free. These games are massive, they take a lot of manpower to make happen, and the amount of complexity that open world games have in 2018, it is completely unfair to expect it to be 100% bug free. Even the great open world games that we've gotten in the past few years, GTA 5, Assassin's Creed Origins, Far Cry 5, they all have their fair share of bugs and issues, not just because it's a massive game. It's pretty hard to completely 100% polish a massive open world game like the games that we get in 2018. And on top of it all, it's an alpha. The game will surely improve and continue to be polished over until 2019 when it's set to be released. But with the janky animations and poorly executed cutscenes scattered across the new 2 hours of gameplay, it's my 2 biggest complaints as of right now with Days Gone. I'd be hard pressed to find anything else I truly didn't enjoy from the game. Gameplay looks really tight and fun, the story and the characters have my attention and hunger for more info about them, and as a package, Days Gone looks to be fulfilling its promise at being more than just an average mundane zombie game. I just hope the issues the game does have gets cleared up or toned down just in time for 2019, which seems in reach for Ben to accomplish as well. But enough of me talking, what do you guys think? What did you enjoy or hate about all the Days Gone info and footage we've gotten over the past week? And do you think all games cutscene the gameplay techniques will now be compared to God of War? I want to hear all your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the content here on the channel, make sure to leave a like on the video and also stay subscribed to PlaystationFollower for all the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank you all for watching, and as always, keep on following.